Brian in Atlanta Hot Tub Center and Tub Talk 101. And today, by popular demand, we're going to do a Jacuzzi 300 Series demo, okay? But before we do, guys, it's important that you understand that we sell both Jacuzzi and Sundance. We love both brands. We do sell them in different stores. But today we are doing the Jacuzzi 300 Series demo. So if you just got a J300 Series hot tub, Jacuzzi at your home, let me be the first to say congratulations, and here we go. So we're going to start with the top side display. To unlock it, hit 1, hit 2, and the display will unlock. You will be prompted by 4 icons, okay? This icon right here just tells you that your True Water, okay, and or Clear-Ray is on and operating. This right here, if you press this button here, the lighting will come up. Okay, that's the button in the top left. So let me explain these light features. This one on the left is how you dim the lights. This one at the bottom is how you get the corner lights to work, the outside corner lights on the hot tub. This one here is how you set a cycle, how you can rotate through all of the different colors. So that'll go from green to purple to red and so on. This one over here is if you want it to be on just one solid color. So if you want it to be just red, just orange, just yellow, or just light blue and so forth, you can use this to do that. But if you want it to rotate through the colors, you're going to use the one in the middle. All right, and as we continue to go through, you'll see a little jet icon here, jet 1, jet 2, and if you have IR, Jacuzzi has red light therapy, okay? Infrared red light therapy, okay? And so ultimately, if you have that option and you want to turn it on, you would turn the IR on. But otherwise, you have pump 1 and you have pump 2, and they are off and they are on. So pretty relatively simple there. Okay, backing back out of here, you have the gear. When you go into the gear, depending on what setup your hot tub has, it's going to have most of these, okay? Not everybody's going to have True Water, okay? But we are going to touch on True today. So when you go into heat, you're going to see the heat mode. You're going to want to refer some to your owner's manual. I always say you want to read through the heating modes and things like that in the owner's manual, because as the season changes, you want to change this heat mode so it's the most comfortable experience that it can be. In other words, if it's really hot in summer, right, you would want to have this thing in economy mode. You would not want to have this in a auto mode. You don't want it on heat and demand when it's 90-something degrees outside. So again, I urge you to read through your owner's manual to make sure that you've got the right heat setting depending on where you are and what climate you're working with, okay? The temperature range, leave it at high. No reason to change that. You're going to come down here to time. You're going to set your time. You're going to set your date, okay? And then you have a water care button, okay? Your water care, these are all of the reminders in the system. It reminds you to drain, refill your hot tub, to clean your filter, reminds you on the True Water when it needs serviced, and so forth and so on. So these will need to be reset as you do each one of these things. And again, this is just kind of like a to-do list, right? It's just another way to go ahead and manage taking care of the hot tub and maintaining it, right? So I do like the idea. And again, you just press on whatever it is you want to press on. It'll pop up and you just click on whatever it needs to be and you click the check mark, right? I mean, obviously it's coming preset with all of these reset and all these in the correct order, right? So you don't have to worry about it now, but as time goes on and you need to refill your hot tub, you'll need to reset that, okay? So, and that's really all you really need to know as far as really in, you know, the actual setting. There's a lockdown here that I like to touch on. Let me see. Hold on, let me go back here. Back again. Okay, here. So back into the settings, right? I do want to touch on a couple of things as you go down here. Like you can lock it, you know, if you need to lock it. You've got units and language and some other things and so forth that if you want to change those settings, you can. But the main settings as far as the operation of the actual hot tub itself is what we went over. That's the settings. and that's the jet pump, and that's the light. Now here, you have up and down on the temperature, right? I got this thing set at 88, right? But at the end of the day, you can set it wherever you want. It goes all the way up to 104, goes all the way down to 80. There is a bypass you can ask your dealer about if you need it to go to 106. It's just simply not staying hot enough for you. Not really a problem here in Georgia, but it can definitely be a problem in other places. Up top here, guys, you're seeing some things. This is showing that you have Wi-Fi connection and so forth. All of this is just showing that your temperature is going up, that it's heating. And then, of course, you have showing that, circulation, that it's in auto and some stuff like that. So nothing really here to press or do except for this one here. And this will invert the panel. So if you press this, that's now facing that way, right? So sometimes people are in tight spots with hot tubs, and so they don't have the luxury of being able to read it from the outside and be able to get in and so forth. So sometimes it's better to just leave it inverted. But again, each situation is different. Again, I touch on this again. Setting your date and time is really, really important, because as the tub, it comes on in specific filter cycles and stuff. It's pre-programmed to come on at particular times. So you do want to make sure that you set your time. And again, pretty easy. Just go to the gear icon and go down to time, go down to date and set it. Now we're going to get into the full operation of the hot tub itself. All right. So as far as operation goes of the hot tub itself, it's important to understand how a hot tub works. And without getting too technical, right, I'm going to just make it quick, okay? So these two big valves, there's one here and there's one over there, and you're going to have two on your J300 Series hot tub. And what happens is each jet pump, okay, the discharge, where all the pressure comes out of, right? Here's your jet pump, here's the intake, here's the discharge. Okay, and that jet pump, that discharge is what is sending all the pressure to the jets. That discharge goes directly into these two valves. These two valves only move water. They move water from one part of the hot tub to another part of the hot tub. That's how they work. If you want some middle of the road pressure in all the seats, you can set it to kind of 12 o'clock, but most people don't do that. They find the seats that they like and they crank up the pressure, they turn those valves, they do work together. Sometimes it takes a minute, but play with it, and it's pretty easy to figure out once you get going with it, okay? So again, these turn, okay, and as you turn them, you will see pressure moving around the hot tub, and that's actually water moving around. Now, these little switches here, okay? When you turn this and you've got two sections on full blast, it's the mixture of air and water that create the action in the jetting, create that extra boost of pressure. How do we get that? That's this right here. This is the introduction of air into your seat. So once you get the water going out there, you press this down, and that adds the air with the water to create that great hydrotherapy experience you're going to get out of your hot tub. Now, to customize your massage a little bit more, you can turn these jets. You see me turning them. Turning these jets will do the same thing as basically the air control, except this sends air to the entire seat. So if you want a jet off and one jet on, right, then you would have to turn these accordingly, like I'm doing, right? So again, if you're sitting in a seat and you have the air on, you're saying, well, why don't I have any pressure? It's probably because this is turned. So you need to turn that to loosen that up. Now, filters, guys, you want to make sure that you clean your filter every 30 days, no exceptions. That's going to make sure that you get the longest amount of time out of your filter and make sure your hot tub operates very, very, very well. Obviously, we're going to have a demo on chemicals and other things, so we're not going to get into that today. All right, this is Brian at Atlanta Hot Tub Center and a demo on the J300 Series. Thank you.